Congress just voted on $5,500 bonus checks for SSI and SSDI recipients. But guess what? Jasmine Crockett says it's still not enough. And honestly, she might have a point. All right, let's get into it, because what just happened in Congress has a lot of people talking, and for good reason. We're going to break down exactly what this $5,500 July bonus check is, who's getting it, who's not, why Jasmine Crockett is standing up and saying, hold on, this doesn't fix the real problem, and what could actually come next. Because let's be real, one-time payments sound great, but is this just another Band-Aid on a bigger issue? So, if you're on SSI, SSDI, or any Social Security program, or if you're someone just trying to keep your head above water in this economy, stick around. This video is packed with details you need to know before you get your hopes up, before you check your bank account, and before you believe every headline that's flying around right now. So first things first, how did this $5,500 number even come up? Well, here's the backstory. Over the last 6 months, there's been growing pressure on Congress to do something, anything, for people living on fixed incomes. Between rent hikes, skyrocketing grocery bills, medical costs going through the roof, and energy prices squeezing everyone, seniors and disabled Americans have been hit the hardest. A few different proposals have been floating around. Some lawmakers wanted to boost monthly Social Security checks by a few percent. Others wanted to send out a smaller, one-time check, something like $1,200 or $2,000, similar to the old stimulus checks. But then came this new proposal, a $5,500 one-time bonus check for SSI and SSDI recipients, targeted to go out in July. And just last week, it passed. Yep, Congress actually voted it through. That's huge news. But, and this is a big but, before anyone starts celebrating or dreaming of what they're going to spend that money on, let's talk about the fine print. First off, this payment isn't for everyone on Social Security. It's specifically for people receiving Supplemental Security Income, SSI, and Social Security Disability Insurance, SSDI. Not regular retirement Social Security, not survivor's benefits, and definitely not VA benefits. That's already causing a lot of confusion online. Second, this isn't guaranteed to hit everyone's account immediately. The way it's structured, it's likely to roll out in phases starting in mid-July and continuing through August. So, if you don't see money on the exact day others are posting screenshots of their deposits, don't panic just yet. Now here's where Jasmine Crockett comes in. When the news broke about this $5,500 bonus check, a lot of lawmakers were patting themselves on the back. They were calling it a huge win, saying things like, "We've done something historic for America's most vulnerable citizens." But when reporters asked Jasmine Crockett for her reaction, let's just say she didn't hold back. Her words? "This is a start, but this is nowhere near enough." And honestly, she's got a point. Because let's break down the reality here. A one-time $5,500 check sounds amazing on paper. For many people, that's months of rent, or enough to finally catch up on medical bills, or to buy groceries without stressing over every dollar. But here's the problem. After July, then what? One check doesn't fix ongoing problems. It doesn't fix the fact that many SSI recipients are still living below the poverty line. It doesn't fix the fact that SSDI hasn't kept pace with inflation for years. It doesn't fix the fact that COLA increases, while helpful, have been wiped out by rising Medicare premiums and cost of living expenses that far exceed the annual adjustment. And Crockett made that crystal clear. She said the focus shouldn't just be on one-time payments. She wants structural, permanent changes. Stuff like raising the federal poverty level for benefit calculations, increasing monthly SSI and SSDI benefit amounts permanently, expanding Medicare coverage, and eliminating outdated income and resource limits that keep people in poverty. Her exact quote, We can't keep throwing one-time checks at people and calling it a solution. That's a short-term fix for a long-term crisis. And, let's be honest, she's not wrong. But here's the political reality. Getting permanent benefit increases through Congress is a whole different battle. One-time payments? Easier to sell. They don't require long-term budget commitments. They don't permanently change Social Security formulas. And they give lawmakers something flashy to campaign on. That's exactly why this $5,500 July bonus got pushed through, even though deeper reforms remain stalled. But let's shift gears for a second and talk about what this means for you right now. If you're on SSI or SSDI and you meet the eligibility requirements, here's what you can expect. The $5,500 payment will come automatically. You do not need to apply for it. It'll come the same way you normally get your Social Security payment, whether that's direct deposit or a direct express card. Initial payments are set to start mid-July, with additional rounds going out through August. If you haven't received it by September, you're encouraged to contact the Social Security Administration directly, not through random websites or third-party services. And please, I can't stress this enough, if anyone online is telling you to fill out a form, pay a fee, or give them your Social Security number to claim this check, it's a scam, period. Now, let's dig a little deeper into the politics behind this. Why did this bill pass now? Why July? Why $5,500? Well, here's where it gets interesting. Midterm elections are heating up, and both parties are scrambling to show that they're doing something, anything, for voters. Seniors and disabled Americans represent a huge voting bloc. So passing a big, headline-grabbing payment like this? Let's just say it's no accident. Lawmakers want to be able to go back to their home districts, stand in front of cameras, and say, "Look what we delivered for you." But behind the scenes, they're still gridlocked on the bigger stuff. Social Security reform bills are stuck in committee. There's no agreement on how to fund long-term benefit increases. And while some members, like Jasmine Crockett, are pushing hard for real change, they're hitting brick walls at every turn. And that's where the frustration is boiling over. During the floor debate on this bill, Jasmine Crockett stood up and delivered what's already being called one of her most fiery speeches yet. She laid out point by point why this payment, while helpful, is just a drop in the bucket compared to what's needed. She said, "We've got people choosing between paying for heat or paying for medicine. We've got disabled Americans who haven't seen a meaningful benefit increase in years. And we think one check fixes that? This is not leadership. This is crisis management." Her speech went viral overnight. Clips are trending on social media. Some people are calling her the new voice for Social Security reform. Others, well, let's just say there's backlash too. Critics say the country can't afford bigger, permanent changes right now, that the national debt is too high, that inflation will skyrocket if more money is pumped into the system. But supporters of Crockett's stance fire right back. If there's money for corporate tax breaks, military spending, and foreign aid, then there should be money to take care of seniors and people with disabilities right here at home. And that debate isn't going away anytime soon. So, where does this leave us? Here's the bottom line. The $5,500 July bonus checks are happening. That's real. That's confirmed. But according to Jasmine Crockett, and honestly, according to a lot of Americans, it's just not enough. Not even close. There's growing momentum for more permanent, meaningful change to SSI and SSDI benefits. But whether that change actually happens, that's going to depend on pressure from voters, advocacy groups, and honestly, how loud the American people are willing to get. Because if history has shown us anything, it's that real change only happens when people speak up. So, if you're sitting there thinking, this is good news, but not good enough, you're not alone. Stay tuned, because this fight isn't over. And if you want to know what Jasmine Crockett said next, or what the latest Social Security reform proposal looks like, check out the next video popping up on your screen right now.